Namaste yogis, welcome to your practice. This is Steven from YogaWorks, and this class is called Yoga for Focus. Now I feel like I'm a little bit of an expert in teaching this because my mind is permanently pretty much scattered in a million places between running a lodge, practicing, teaching yoga, spending time with the kids and the family. Most days I have no idea where my head is. And when this is the case, which often happens, I come to a simple practice like this. What we're going to do is just, as I said already, simplify the practice. So it's going to be a straightforward pose that most likely you've already done quite a few times before. Then also another thing, we'll slow it down, so we'll hold the poses for a little bit longer. It's a bit of a Hatha style practice, not much flow in this one. And thirdly, we're going to increase the intensity a little bit so that it becomes, your mind can rest at the right place. I find if it's too easy, then I completely tune out. I start to think of my shopping list and my to-do list. And then on the other end, if it's way too difficult, then my anxiety levels start to rise again, and that's also not what we're looking for. So we're looking for that fine middle ground. And I invite you to try and find that with me today. Now, we're going to be using a strap straight from the start of this practice. So if you need to pause the video and grab a belt or a strap or something, then go ahead and do that. If you've already got one nearby, then lie down on your back. Bend both of your knees for now. And then loop the strap around your right foot, around the ball of the right foot. And then hold the strap. I quite like to hold it like one end in each hand, so that your shoulders can more or less relax down on the mat, and that when the arms are straight, it's going to be a little bit more comfortable as well. And then just find that right angle for your leg to the floor, and it might be that you need to give a little bit of slack to the strap so that your leg can straighten a bit comfortably. Sometimes if you pull it up too hard, then it's just not very pleasant. You're not going to find a good resting place there. So find it for you, whichever angle it is. Don't draw any conclusions, just go with that. And then as we are going to hold a little bit, just push your foot up into the strap. And you get that nice little bit of tension, a bit of strength in the stretching pose. And if you want to, you can also straighten the lower leg out, which is going to make the whole pose a little bit more active. If you preferred with the foot down instead, then you can always go back to that as well. Keep pushing the foot up into the strap, and with the hands you're gently pulling down. Take another breath or so right here. Good. And then release. Let's go straight to the second side. Place your right foot on the mat. Loop the strap around the ball of the left foot. Lift the foot up into the strap. Hold one end of the strap in each of your hands. And then again, feed the strap away from you as much as you need to let that leg rest into the strap and to be able to straighten it. And then as we did before, I'm gently pushing up with the foot into the strap, and the arms are just hanging down. Be as restful as possible with the arms here. And if possible, rest the shoulders down onto the mat. So it's quite a restful pose, but we have enough intensity to give the mind something to focus on. Good. And then slowly release the strap. I forgot to straighten the bottom leg here. If you still want another moment here, then you can do that. You see what I meant about my mind not being very focused. It happens in yoga too. And then place the strap off to the sides and come into half happy baby with the right leg up first. And then hold your right foot with the right hand. If that's not happening, the foot is a little bit too far away, then just hold your ankle or even behind the knee. Whichever setup works for you, try to align the ankle, the right ankle above the right knee somewhere, and then gently draw down with that right knee alongside your chest or in that direction of your rib cage. And then, as we've done before, just to make it a little bit more interesting, we're pulling down with the hand, but we're also pushing up with the foot into the hand. As we've done before, you could straighten that bottom leg. This is gonna pull on this structure a little bit more, so it's gonna be a bit more intense if you decide to go that route. And then if your bottom leg is straight up, bend it again on the left knee, and then go for the supine pigeon pose or the supine figure 4. You're holding the left leg wherever it's available. Glue your mat to your back, the other way around. Let's glue your back to the mat. That sounds better. And with the right ankle, push onto that left knee. So the arms are pulling in a little bit, but the main action is that right ankle is pushing quite hard onto that left knee. So it's not a passive pose. We're not just resting here, tuning out, daydreaming. No, we want to give a little bit of challenge into the pose, so that our mind goes like, oh, there's something juicy is going on here. Good. And then release the hands, but keep the foot on the knee like this, and then start to walk, not really walk, but drop the whole structure to the left. So now you're in a spinal twist, and here what I like to do is with the left hand, you won't be able to see, but on the other side you'll see it better. I like to pin this right foot down, and with the right knee you can push a little bit away towards the foot end of your mat. The right arm can stretch out, or can even push this right thigh away if you prefer. But again, increase the challenge a little bit, your muscular engagement, so that you really feel something nice in that outer right hip. Another breath or so. And then exhale, slow, release the pose. Come back to center. Half happy baby with the left leg up. Hold the outside of your left foot. Hold the left ankle. Hold the back of your knee. You'll figure it out. Pull down a bit until you stop. And then once you've reached the end range of your pose for your body, with the foot push a little bit up into the hand. And then this turns the pose from this passive stretch into something you have to work for a little bit. And then with the right leg, before I forget, you can straighten it out for a different version of the pose. And as always, if something I say doesn't work for your body, or it doesn't feel good, then just come back to another version that is more available for you. Good. And then rebend that bottom leg, place the left ankle on the right knee, and then hold the right shin or behind the hamstring, whatever works. With the arms, pull in a bit. With the back, rest down on the mat. And with the left ankle, push the right knee away or push the right knee down. There's quite a lot of pressure with that left ankle on the right knee. And then this, of course, goes straight into the left outer hip. You'll feel those muscles get a little bit of a challenge there. One more breath here. On the exhale, keep the structure, but release the hands. The right foot comes down, and then turn everything down towards the right side. Now you'll be able to see, if you need to look, with that right hand, I'm pinning that left foot down around the front of the ankle. And then the left knee, from that structure, you can push it away a bit to the foot end of your mat. Left arm, wherever it's comfortable, but sometimes I like to push the left inner thigh away a bit as well. And then maybe for some people this doesn't do a lot, but for me I feel quite a nice stretch in that left outer hip, in a sort of a hidden corner. That's what it feels like. Good. Slowly release that. Let's come up to sitting, and then sit with the legs wide for Upavishta. Nice. Sit with the legs wide, and then bring the right leg into the middle. Nice. Then place your hands just in front of you. You might be a bit higher up. That's fine. And then don't go too far, but just walk the very first edge where your body goes like, okay, this is a good first place to take a moment. And then just add one little thing, with that left heel pushed down onto the mat or onto the floor. Left heel pushed down, and you'll feel again this enlivens the whole pose. It makes it a little bit more interesting, so that your mind it doesn't feel like drifting off so easily. It's got something to do, because there's something going on here that is a little bit challenging, a little bit interesting. Good, and then lift back up. Let's swap legs, so the left heel comes in, the right leg goes out. Once you're ready, place the hands in front of you. Don't go too far, we don't need to lie all the way down for this. And then press that right heel down to strengthen the whole pose and put some energy into it. So it's almost like you're about to drag your right heel back, but you don't, you just push it straight down from the hip. This whole right leg is nice and active, and it's a different version of the pose, which I really quite enjoy. It's also nice at the beginning of your practice, if you don't feel super open just yet, to stay a little bit higher up and work more on the strength aspects of the pose. Good. And then slowly release. Now bring your right shin in front of the left. Just cross the shins down the middle. If you look down, then the shins should be more or less parallel to that edge of the mat. And then flex your feet so that your feet and the knees are somewhat aligned. Good. Lift the spine. And either stay here, you can sit upright if that's more comfortable, or walk a little bit forward until you feel something in the outer hip that grabs your attention. It's just enough challenge for you to be in this moment, to stay with that sensation in the outer hip. But it's not so much that you want to tune out and you wish you hadn't come to this class, because your hip is just killing you at the moment. So find that middle ground. One more breath or so. And then slowly release. Just place your right hand off to the right. Reach the left arm over, and then do little side bends. The legs are still the same, we haven't changed them. Yes. One more breath into this whole left side of the body. And then come up and place your left hand behind you. Twist your right arm over the left knee, and then turn to your left. Just a breath or so. We're just touching on a bit of twist, a bit of outer hips, a bit of side bends. Just a good all-round feel-good practice. And then swap the legs. Left shin in front of right. Shins down the middle. Feet active and under the knees, more or less. Lift the spine. And then hinge forward from your hips. You can walk the hands a bit forward until your mind goes like, oh, okay. There's sensation in the outer hip. There's enough sensation to sort of absorb your attention into it. And there's not so much that you again start to tune out or wish for this pose to end. A couple of breaths. It really helps to tune into breath as well as the sensation. Maybe you can breathe into any parts that feel a little bit stuck. And although the breath doesn't go to your hip, obviously, it still has an effect there. You'll feel as you inhale, there's a general increase in pressure around your center, even into the pelvis. And this is going to affect this every part of the body, including the stretch that we're doing right now. And then lift back up. It's going to be left hand to the left, right arm up and over. And just take a moment to breathe under that right arm. One more breath here. Good, and then up for the twist. Right hand behind you, left hand outside right knee. Lengthen the spine, turn to the right. Take a moment. Unrushed. Every pose we're doing today, you know we're going to be there for a while, except maybe for our sun salutations, which are coming up next. And then unwind. Let's go mountain pose at the top of the mat. This is going to be our base position from which we move, and to increase our sense of calm and focus, we're going to be holding mountain pose for a tiny bit longer than we usually do. So ground down through the feet. Feel the feet and the legs rooting down. Then feel the hips steady on top of the columns of your legs. And then build up the pose through the spine, through the torso, up to your shoulders. And then just for this first one, roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and then let go of the shoulders, let them just slide down until they stop in their natural resting position. Let your arms be firm by your side, lift the crown of the head. Nice. This is a good mountain pose. Place your hands together at the heart. We're doing yoga for focus, so this could be a good intention for this practice. If you have another intention you would like to add, then of course bring that to mind now. One slow breath in. Open your mouth, side breath out. Good, here we go. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins. Exhale, the right foot back, the right knee down to the mat. Inhale, lift the arms. So now the focus is not on holding the pose, but more on the flow of breath and movement. Exhale, down dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale here. Good, inhale, plank. Exhale, slowly lower to the mat for cobra. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart a little bit, don't overdo it. And then exhale down, back to downward facing dog. Just see how you get there. Inhale in down dog. Exhale the right foot forward, the left knee to the mat. Inhale, the arms rise for low lunge. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, heart goes forward. Exhale, fold again. It's always fine to bend the knees, remember. Inhale to rise, lift the arms. Exhale, hands to heart, mountain pose. Close your eyes just for a moment. As we decided before, we're going to take a bit of a longer pause in mountain pose just to increase our sense of focus and steadiness. Next round, inhale, lift the arms, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from the hips. Inhale, the heart goes forward, flat back. Exhale, the left foot back, left knee to the mat. Inhale, let the arms rise. Exhale, downward facing dog, step back. Extra breath, inhale. Extra breath, exhale. Inhale into plank. Exhale, slowly lower down, unrest. Cobra pose, roll the shoulders back, present the heart forward. Exhale, make your way to down dog. Inhale in down dog, unrushed. Exhale, the left foot forward and the right knee down. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, step forward, Uttanasana. Half lift, inhale, the heart goes forward. Exhale to fold over the legs. Sweep the arms, lift all the way up. Palms touch, hands to the heart. Anjali Mudra, close your eyes. Stand in the mountain. Let the breath settle, and if possible, let the mind settle. Nothing to do, just mountain pose. Good, strong mountain. Can you do this really well with your full attention? That's our practice today. Let's do one more round. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold over the legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, right foot back for high lunge this time. Keep your knee up. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale to downward facing dog. Extra breath in. Extra breath out. Inhale takes you to plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Take your time. Roll the shoulders, cobra pose. Keep the elbows close. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale the right foot forward for high lunge. When you're ready, lift the arms, one breath. Exhale, step forward to the front, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold, relax the head. We're going all the way up, reach up through the arms. Palms come back to the heart. Exhale, mountain. Again, keep your focus here. Strong, steady, calm. Let the mind rest. Minds don't like to rest, so it's very likely your mind is all over the place, rushing to the next thing, going back to the previous thing. This is what minds do, but then keep inviting it back to this right here. Last round, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left foot back for high lunge. Steady legs, lift the arms. Exhale, downward facing dog, step back. Good, inhale, plank. Move steady and focused. Exhale, through chaturanga all the way down. It's locust pose, glue the front of the legs to the floor. Exhale, downward facing. Extra breath, inhale. Extra breath, exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, left foot forward for high lunge. Lift the arms, stretch up. Exhale, step forward to the front, forward fold. Half lift, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. If I don't go all the way forward, it's because I'm gonna hit my head on this railing of my balcony here. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands to heart, stand in mountain. Don't let your focus be taken away. It's probably one of our most precious resources, the focus of the human mind. The more we can direct it and sharpen it, the more we're going to be really precise in the task that we have set out to do, whether it's raising your kids or doing your job or working on a relationship or doing your yoga practice. Nice. Inhale to lift arms. Good. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to down dog and pause. Nice. From here, lift the right leg high. Turn the right heel down. I'm a bit close to this wall, that's cheating. So right heel down and close off the hips, which means you're not lifting that right leg, the right hip up to go as high as possible. Rather, you're keeping right hip next to the left. Even if you lose a bit of height in that right leg, it's okay. And I'll just check, what's your left heel doing? Can you soften it down towards the mat? Don't worry if it touches or not, this is irrelevant. And then what are both of your hands doing? And can you just stay for a moment with that right leg lifted? This is a pose we often use as a transition, but for today I want to spend a little bit more time. Not too much, but just enough. And then step that right foot forward, but not too far. Go a bit of a short step and lower the left knee down. So if that went well, you're now in a very short lunge. That's where we want to be. Hold the hands to the hips. Turn the back of the hips down. So back of the hips down, front of the hips up, and press the left knee down, pull it a little bit forward. Nice. This is going to create quite an intense length in the front of that left hip, going into the left thigh. And it's a really good way to lengthen those hip flexors, but also to create a steady and a strong stretch that can grab your attention. It's hard to do a lot of other things Well, you do this really well. That's the kind of focus we're trying to create. Good. Release that. Just go to down dog. Lift the left leg high. Turn the left heel down, so you're not lifting the left hip as high as possible. You're keeping left hip next to the right. Turn the left toes. If you look back, you should see them pointing down. Don't worry about the height of your left leg, it is what it is. And then the right heel, stretch it down towards the mat. So you get a strong calf and hamstring stretch on that right leg. The left leg it's lifting up, so the back of that left leg needs to work quite hard. Can you feel those muscles that are lifting you up? Good. And then left foot a little step forward, so not all the way to your hands. Lift up so your right hip is above the right knee. Hands to the hips so you can feel what's happening, and then turn the back of the pelvis down. The front lifts up a bit. This is going to lengthen all these tissues, the front of the right hip, especially when you push the right knee down and create the action of pulling it forward. So let's try that for a moment. You're lifting the front of the hip, you're pressing the right knee down, you're creating a bit of intensity, this whole front of right hip, right thigh area, and you're letting your attention rest on that quite specific point. One more breath. Good. Downward facing dog, just step back. We're skipping the vinyasa because sometimes we get a little bit into autopilot, which is it's not the same as focus. It means we've done something so many times that we don't really have to pay any conscious attention to it. So we're skipping that, so you don't get into the regular routine. Nice. Lift the right leg high. This time you can open the hip so you get a little bit more lift. It's fine if the right toes turn to the right, but try for the shoulders still to be quite level. So don't lift the right shoulder too high above the level of the left. Left heel, stretch it down and feel the muscles, probably in the glutes, the hamstrings, they're working hard to hold you in this pose. Good. And step your right foot all the way outside the right hand. Big step. And then both hands inside the right foot. Let's start with the back knee down. We can always change that later. Lengthen the spine to the front. I like to look to the front just for a moment to get that intention of going forward more than down. And then bend the elbows until you feel that you stop. Maybe left elbow comes down, maybe right elbow comes down, but if this doesn't happen, don't lose any sleep over it. It's quite irrelevant to this pose. And then keep a little bit of length, so you're stretching forward through the spine, maybe looking slightly ahead of your hands if it's possible. And then just to add a touch more challenge, if that's what you need, you can tuck the back toes under, lift the left knee up. So push down to whatever touches the mat. These are your points of support. Straighten through this back leg and kick the left heel back. And then lengthen the spine forward. Good. It's hard to think of dinner or your shopping list while you're in a pose like this. It's quite intense, even though you're not actively moving. That's exactly what we want. And then come up onto the hands. Walk your hands a little bit to the top left corner of the mat, even past it, it's fine. And then turn the chest down to the mat and pause here in this sort of side bend lizard pose for a little moment. One more breath. Downward facing dog. I would suggest no vinyasa. If you really have to, then of course you can keep moving, but I would also take a look at that and see if you're not stuck in a lot of routine. Good. And left leg lifted high. Instead of toes down now, you can open the leg up to the side, let it lift, but don't let the left shoulder lift too high above the level of the right. Right heel, maybe still soften it down if you can. And then feel the back of that left leg and hip work to keep the leg up. Good. Left foot, step it outside the left hand. Both hands stay down on the mat. Lower the back knee down to start. Look forward, lengthen the spine. You stop wherever you need to or want to. Maybe elbow comes down. Maybe the other elbow comes down. See how it goes. Take a few breaths here. Lizard pose. Lots of focus is required. And then tuck the back toes under. Lift the right knee. Just to add another element of intensity to the pose. So go to your end range and just stay there a little bit. Hang around that point where you're stretching to the maximum, but you're not overdoing it either. Good. Come back up onto the hands. Walk a bit to the right. Side bend as you lower the chest. Keep that back leg super active. So whichever pose we're in today, we're pushing the mat or the floor away with the points of contact. Good. Slowly walk back. Step back to down dog. From here, lift the right leg high. Again, you would say, no, it's something completely different, so don't worry. Bend the right knee, open the hip to the side, and now you get this really nice side stretch. You can even let that right shoulder lift a little bit higher than the left, so you can lean into it. Again, we're holding for a little bit longer, so reach up through the right knee. Close the angle of your knee as much as you can, so bringing the right heel to your right buttock. And then step the right foot forward. Good. Lower the left knee down. This time come up with the hands to the heart. Nice. Stay here for a moment. Build your foundation. And then start to turn to the right. Hook your left elbow over the right knee. You can press prayer hands together, or if that's sore for your wrist, what I sometimes do is left fist and then the right hand pushes down onto that fist. Roll the top shoulder back. Lengthen your spine forward. Nice. You can stay here, or I'm going to lift my back knee to get a little bit more work into that back leg. Good. Keep rolling the top shoulder back. Keep firming up the belly. And if you can, keep softening the breath, even though some of these poses are not super easy, of course. Good. Skip the vinyasa. Go straight to down dog. Left leg high, bend the left knee, open your hip. Lean the left leg back. Twist into that whole side body. Even if the left shoulder lifts a little bit here, it's fine, it's not a big drama. Just find this big open stretch on the sides. Right heel still reaching down. Good, and then left foot forward, right knee to the mat. Lift up, low lunge. Hands to the heart. Turn to the left. Right elbow over left knee, maybe a fist with that right hand so you can push your left hand down on it if you want to, or set it up how you usually do. Lengthen the spine forward and up, turn the left shoulder open. And then tuck the back toes under. Can you lift the right knee and rotate the whole upper body to the left. It's probably best to hold your breath and suffer it out until the end of the pose. No, don't do that. Just keep the breath soft and steady. And if it isn't soft and steady, then ask yourself, why are you pushing too hard? Did you go over that limit of the edge of the pose that keeps your mind here? If if you go over it, your mind will be like, no, I'm out of here. This is just crazy. This yoga thing is not for me. So don't go there. Right hand, both hands down. Downward facing dog. Good, walk the toes just a tiny bit closer than a normal down dog. You're still in down dog though, there's weight in the hands. Reach your left hand back to hold the right outer ankle. Keep the heels both stretching down and turn to look under your right armpit if you can. Sometimes what I like to do is bend the left knee, so that's the one you're not holding, and then turn that right heel down to the middle. Feels so good. Feels so good, but it's quite intense at the same time, so it's a good pose for our focus work today. Good. Release it. Right knee forward for pigeon pose. Now we're not just going to flop down into a sleeping pigeon. I'm sure you didn't expect that in today's class. We're going to do active pigeon. So start to press down through your fingertips, lift the heart, and then with the legs we're actively pressing down. So really push the floor away as if you're about to stand up. You don't actually need your hands anymore. That's the kind of action in the legs we're going for. Nice. Lift the heart, steady your breath. And then one more option if you want to, left hand in front of you, right hand reaches back to hold the back foot. If that's available, you can do that. If that's not happening today, you can always use a strap, or the previous pose will work just as well. You're just getting a bit more hip flexor, and when you bend the knee like this, you're getting a bit more quads. Nice. I'm kicking that back foot into the back hand to again get this strengthening sensation, and then release it. Downward facing dog, slightly short down dog is going to help to more easily reach towards that opposite ankle. So now it's right hand to left outer leg, hold around the ankle, the heel, the calf, wherever is available, and then reach the heels down. I like to bend the right knee, so the opposite knee to the one you're holding. Turn the left heel down if you want, and then bend the right arm a bit so you turn to look under that left armpit. It's a big pose. It's a simple pose, but quite intense. And then release that left knee forward, pigeon pose, second side. Reach the right leg back, set it up as best as you can. And then remember, we're high up. It's pretty much the opposite of sleeping pigeon. The legs are pushing down. The fingertips are pushing down. The spine is lifting up. The gaze is forward and focused. Nice. There's so much power in the legs that your hands, they could lift if they wanted to. And right hand in front if you want to. Bend the right knee, hold the right foot with your left hand. Or stay in the previous pose. If you're holding your foot, push it into the hand to again create that cycle of more focus, giving your mind something juicy to keep its attention there. Nice. Take one more breath and then slowly release it. Downward facing dog one more time. And then step one of your feet forward, doesn't matter which one, but just make sure you can see the camera if you need to. Turn the feet parallel in Prasarita. Nice. I'm going to give you some options. The first one, just simple, walk your hands a bit back and soften the head down until you stop. The second one is to reach the hands out to the side, maybe hold the outer ankles or the big toes. Don't pull too hard with the hands, but it could be nice to hold on to something. Option 3 is clasp the hands behind the lower back. Let them lift up and over and hold this. Option 4, hands to the hips. These are the 4 traditional options in Ashtanga Yoga, so pick one that works. And then make it active enough to hold your attention, but don't go so far that you tune out again. Super active legs, quite soft upper body, and focused mind. Slowly walk the hands back up, walk your hands towards your left foot. You can lift the left heel if you want, straighten the right leg in Skandasana. So it's a squat on the left leg, you could say, and an inner thigh stretch on the right. And again, as we've done before, with the right heel, push a little bit down, so it grabs your attention again. One more breath. Good. And then go over to the second side. You're bending the right leg, straightening the left. And we're pressing that left heel down so that we can focus. Slowly come back up. Nice. Turn the toes out and the heels in. You might need to shorten the stance or adjust the distance, that's fine. Bend your knees, sit nice and low in your horse. And then just for a moment, place one hand on the belly, one on the lower back, and then just check how your center is aligned. Feel that the pelvic floor, the hips softening down. It's almost like you're sitting on the sit bones. The spine is rising up and you've got a strong midsection to support you in the middle of the pose. Nice. We're going to add one more thing, which I learned in the Kung Fu or Tai Chi tradition, the martial arts, which is called hugging the tree. You're not going to believe it, but we're going to wrap the arms around an imaginary tree until your middle fingers almost touch, but not quite. Leave about a centimeter of space there. Keep that core awareness without tensing up, and then soften the shoulders. You might need to wiggle them around a little bit. Soften the shoulders. Let them just sit at the top of the spine. And then relax the hands and feel this sort of circle of energy or connection in front of you between the heart and the circle of your arms. And then close your eyes. Stand here, hugging the tree. You might feel tension creeping back up into the shoulders, or very likely into your mind. You might say, oh my God, looks like this is one of those longer holds. I'm not gonna make it. But your body is fine. Just watch. What's your body doing? It's fine. Can you sit a tiny bit lower? Bend the knees a little bit more. Keep your center active and relaxed. Don't tense up anywhere in the body. Your sides are free, your back, your neck, the shoulders. The head is light on top of the spine. You're hugging the tree. I forgot to tell you, we're going to hold this for about 2 minutes. But I'm pretty sure we must be quite a bit past the first minute. What do you think? I don't have a watch at all, so I'm just making this up. I often practice horse for about 2 minutes, sometimes more on a good day. And guess what? It never is easy, but it's always super amazing for the focus and for a whole lot of other things. Strength, hip mobility, stamina, resilience, grit. How are you doing? Soften the shoulders one more time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the arms, straighten the legs. Take a breath. Good. And then come to sit on your knees. I'm going to give a couple of options because we've done a whole lot of things that personally helped me with my focus, which is to slow the pace down and hold the pose, which means not rushing. We've also removed any kind of autopilot stuff, a vinyasa where you do the same thing that you've been doing for many years perhaps. We've also increased a little bit of intensity so that it becomes interesting. And then another thing, an amazing tool for me to increase my focus is to go upside down. When I'm upside down in some kind of way or other, it's really hard for me to start worrying and ruminating and sort of going over my list of issues, which is pretty long sometimes. It's an amazing tool. So I'm going to give you a couple of options. If you're not going upside down, then just do bridge pose. That's a good alternative. If you're going upside down, then choose now. Maybe you go to the wall, you do headstand, forearm balance, or handstand. Let's do one of those three. And if you're not going upside down, do bridge pose. We've got about a minute or so, so pick your choice. And I'm going to come into headstand, and you come into your choice of inversion. Nice. Remember to use the wall if you feel unsteady. I'm going to do it away from the wall. So just make your way up anyhow you can or you like. And then get organized, adjust this, adjust that. Get a sense of strength and stability. And now just check how laser sharp your focus is. It's completely here. You need to be fully absorbed in this inversion, otherwise you fall out. And then steady your breath. Steady the focus through the eyes. Let the mind just rest. This is what's happening right now. And we are fully paying attention to it. If you're on headstand, forearm balance, you keep pushing the forearms down, lifting the shoulders up. If you're in handstand or the other inversions, keep tucking the ribs in, activate the legs, reach up through the feet. Three more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Slowly start to come out. Let's all go to child's pose. If you did bridge, you have to turn around. Rest your forehead onto something, a block or the mat. Rest your arms where they're comfortable. And just stay in this space that you have created. Your practice is like a container. Container for growth, for focus, for sharpening your attention. It's not really the poses, but it's doing something while you pay attention to what you're doing. This is part of the magic of your yoga practice. Good. Slowly lift back up. Let's do one more down dog just to sort of as a counter pose to the inversion. Lengthen the spine, activate the hands and the feet. Let the head, the neck relax. Good. And then come to sitting, I'll give two options. Right shin in front of left for Sukhasana, the easy pose. You can just fold forward, or right knee on top of left knee for Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Similar kind of area that we're targeting, the outer hips, but probably one is likely to feel a bit better for you, so figure out which one that is. Rest the hips down, lengthen the spine, and again go to that place where you feel this familiar enough intensity. We've been doing it plenty of times, but at the same time enough space to keep the breath calm, to keep the mind relaxed and focused. And then just for a moment in this pose, wrap your left arm or one of your arms around under the right knee. You can do it in Sukhasana or Gomukhasana. Lift the knee up a little bit, and then with the knee push down onto that arm. So there's a little tug of war happening between the knee and the arm, and this is going to increase the sensation quite a bit in that outer right hip. At least for me it does. So keep pushing down, you're lengthening that muscle, but you're also weighting it. Good, and then undo it. Swap the legs, it's going to be left shin in front of the right. Don't forget to activate your feet. Sukhasana, the easy pose. Bit of a misleading name. Or Gomukhasana, left knee on top of right. So you're sitting in between the feet for that one. Lengthen the spine, whichever one you're choosing. Be fully immersed into it. Fold forward until it's enough, but not too much. And take a moment to immerse yourself in the experience. So you're doing something often a bit unusual in your yoga practice. And then an element that's really important, you're focusing your attention on what's happening. This is where a lot of the benefit comes from. Not so much of what exactly you're doing. Second part of the pose, lift the left knee up a bit. With your left hand, with your right hand, doesn't actually matter. And then press that left knee down onto your arm or your hand quite a bit. Press down, press down, press down, press down. Good. Gently release. Come into a comfortable seat. A last technique that I want to share with you for focusing the mind, it's a bit of an obvious one, is a brief meditation. For me, if I just sit down out of nowhere, and my mind is not going to be focused at all. But if I move like this, I'm quite active. I've worked my body, I've opened the hips a bit, the shoulders, the spine. Then I sit down, then it's quite a pleasant space. Suddenly my mind goes like, oh, this is a welcome home. I can seem to rest for a little moment. So see if you can experience that. Your body steady, sit bones grounded, get a weighted sensation through the lower body. And then get a light and free sensation through the upper body, rising up from the hips. Let the shoulders rest, let your neck be free, let the head be light. And then just for a moment, imagine Your head is completely transparent. The wind can just pass through it. Imagine there's a little breeze. In my case, there is a breeze. In your case, if you're indoors, you might have to imagine. And imagine this breeze is just blowing straight through your head, passing straight through, taking all your thoughts. Whenever a new thought comes, the wind blows it straight away. It's impossible to form a new thought. Just imagine. A new thought comes, the wind has already taken it, it's gone. Your head is completely open on all the sides. Empty and clear. Sit for a moment, enjoying that clarity, the empty space, the new possibilities this brings. Every time before the head can fill up with new thoughts or memories or doubts or plans, the wind or maybe your breath has already cleared them out. Just for a moment, you find it impossible to think. Good. You're welcome to stay a little bit longer for seated meditation, or I'm going to lie back for a moment in Shavasana. I'll keep it quite short in case you have a limited time for your yoga practice. So just place your body on the mat or stay seated. This is another great one to become more focused, especially at the end. Right now, our only focus is to be here, to be fully here. Just to watch the body, sensations, sounds, thoughts. Just watch it from a distance. You're aware of what's happening, but you're not really taking part in anything. If you have a little bit longer time for your practice, then by all means stay here for a little while longer. Maybe an extra 5 or 10 minutes could be really amazing. If it's time for you to wrap up your practice for today, then start to move your hands, move your feet. Bend your knees and roll over to one side. And then slowly come up to sitting. Bring your palms together, fold them in front of your heart. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart space, and bow to yourself on the mat. Yogis, thank you so much for practicing. Namaste, everybody. I hope this cleared out your mind and sharpened your focus. You might need to get back to this practice a couple of times or as many times as you need to, because it's not a one-time solution. But for me, these are some of the things that help me to be laser sharp in my focus. Good. Thanks for practicing. Stay well and see you soon.